Good day. So today I'm going to show you how to solve this type of algebra question in mathematics N4. Alright, so of course, whenever we see a square root sign, we call it radical. For instance, let's just say we've got something like this. Let's call this A, and let's call this to the power of B. Let's call that one C. So if we want to remove the radical, we have to convert it into a rational exponent, right? So we have to convert it to an exponential fraction. So if we make it an exponential fraction, what is inside goes on top, what is outside goes down, right? So that's what we're going to do here. So what is inside goes on top, what is outside, which is invisible to, goes down. So let's convert it. So it means that with this part, whatever's inside goes on top, whatever's outside goes down. Alright, so now let's convert this one. So now before we convert this one, whenever we've got something like this, whenever you're solving for x and x is an exponent, whenever you've got maybe something like this, let's just say maybe 2x plus 2, you have to split it, right? You have to split this. So you have to split this. So if this is 2x plus 2, you're going to have to split it. So then this is going to become 2x times 2 to the power of 2. We're using laws of exponent. We know that if the base is the same, we will add the exponent. So we're just doing the reverse form of it. So we know that if the bases are the same, we'll add the exponents, right? So we're just doing the reverse form of it. We're splitting it. So another example, for instance, if we have something like maybe 3 to the power of x minus 2, we can split this stuff. We can split it into 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of negative 2, because if the bases are the same, we add the exponents. So we're just using the reverse form of it. So we're going to apply that there. So then this square root is still there because we're not yet converting it. We're still splitting this stuff. So then this is going to be 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of 2. And this is equals to 24. And then from here, just before I continue, if you want to be tutored, whether it is online or physically, whether it is the situation where you're struggling in maths, or whether it is the situation where you're good in maths but you just want perfection, we specialize in improvement. Online, it doesn't matter where you are at or which country you're at or the curriculum you're doing. Call or WhatsApp this number. You can also send a message to this email. Take a screenshot of the details that I've provided so that you can use that to message me according to your preferred way of contacting me. You're going to be mentored by a person who's studying a bachelor's degree in mathematics and statistics. So with online, what I do is that I give lessons 5 days a week and I test you once a week so that I can check your improvement. We're going to have to split it. What do I mean? Okay, so whenever we've got square root of something, square root of AB, this law is the same. This is the same as square root of A times square root of B. It's allowed to distribute when it's multiplication, but one thing you must be careful of is if we have got square root of A plus B, this is not equals to square root of A plus square root of B, right? When it's an addition sign between them, it does not distribute. But when it's multiplication, it is allowed to distribute, right? So this is where most students make mistake as well. So because these two things are multiplying, we are allowed to split the square root. So then this is still x over 2, and then this will become square root of 2 to the power of x times square root of 2 to the power of 2. And then from here, we are now allowed to convert this into rational exponent or exponential fraction. So then this x to the x over 2, then this stuff, we can now convert it. This is x over 2 as well. What is inside goes on top, what is outside goes down. Here it's 2 to the power of 2, so what is inside goes on top, what is outside goes down. But this just becomes 1. And of course, we have equals to 24 equals to 24. All right, so let's just see. Okay, so I've rewritten the previous step over here. All right, so now this, whenever we've got this kind of stuff, so when we're in high school, whenever we've got something like this, for instance, if we've got something like this, let's say to the power of 2. What you do, let's just say equals to 10. This is just an example. Whenever you've got something like this, you factor out what is common. Whenever there is an addition sign, you factor out what is common. So you factor out what is common, but in terms of letters. So notice this is common, 2x and 2x, right? Because there's two terms, right? It's not 1, 2, 3. Multiplication makes two things to become one. Addition and subtraction separates terms, right? So this is 1 and this is 1 because multiplication makes it 1. So addition is what separates terms. So in these two terms, what is common is 2 to the power of x. So then you would factorize 2 to the power of x, and then you will say 2 to the power of x divided by 2 to the power of x, which is 1. And then you say plus, then this stuff divided by 2 to the power of x, 2 to the power of x will cancel and it will leave 2 to the power of 2. So that's how we factorize this kind of stuff. So the same way you factorize here is the same way you factorize here. So let's factorize. What is common is 2 to the power of x over 2. We have it in both sides. So then we're going to take out 2 to the power of x over 2. And then when we divide, how many terms do we have? We have two terms. This is 1 and this is 1. Two things multiplying becomes 1. So that's what we have. So when we divide it, it becomes 1. Then when we divide this whole term by this, right? If I do it on the side, just in case, let's just say some people don't understand. Let's just say, so if I divide this by this, it's like I'm dividing it this way. So these are the same, they would cancel and to be literally left at. So it's going to be plus 2 to the power of 2 over 2. I should have changed this to 1. 2 over 2 is 1. But I will change it later. So then we have equals to 24. So then we're going to have 2 to the power of x over 2. All right, 2 over 2 is 1, right? So this is just 2, so it becomes the same as 2, right? So instead of me writing this on the next step, let me just fix it here. So then this becomes 2. So then 1 plus 2 is 3. And then from there, we are solving for x. So for x to be the substitute formula, first we have to just divide by 3 on both sides. Then this cancels, and now we're left with x over 2 is equals to 24 over 3, which is 8. And then from there, let me just proceed here. So x over 2, which is equals to 8. So 2 to the power of x over 2 is equals to 8 is the same as 2 cubed. So now that we have same basis, we have to drop the exponent, or rather we have to drop the basis and leave the exponent. And that's what we have. Then from there, how do we make x a substitute formula? Whenever we have a fraction, we can just remove the denominator by multiplying it on both sides. So therefore this goes and we're left with x. This becomes 6. And there we have it. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.